This is a wacky button. When the dude lightly taps it, the room gets jam-packed with these magical buttons. Press it, it will spit out stuff at random. He's gonna be stuck here for 10 freaking years, unless he discovers the exit door. He tries them all one by one, but all the stuff that pops out is completely useless. At this point, he's totally beat, so he randomly tosses a balloon out. To his surprise, a plate of sushi comes out of nowhere. The dude's eyes light up like a kid on Christmas. But eating sushi without soy sauce is like kissing your sister, so he presses it again and again, but each time it's sushi that comes out. What a pain! He's got no choice but to roll with it, so he fills up his belly, and then gives it another hit. Lo and behold, out comes a bottle of soy sauce. This is a button that's straight out of Hogwarts. Man pressed it and a pair of AR glasses popped out. He put on. Suddenly a little kid appeared, pointing at his. Man was so excited to press it, but the room instantly turned pitch black. A huge clock appeared behind him. The poor guy started pressing the button frantically, hoping to pause the countdown, but time kept ticking. The button on the wall slowly disappeared. Just when he thought it couldn't get any worse, a giant butt appeared in the sky, releasing a noxious gas. The guy was so overwhelmed by the stench that he almost passed out, and to top it off, he was stuck there for 5 whole days. The only thing he had to pass the time was a stack of comic books, but when he finished the 5th volume and wanted to move on to the 6th, he discovered that there was no 6th volume. Instead, he had a 7th and 8th volume, but no clue as to what happened in between. The man was going crazy from all the confusion and chaos. He started pressing the button again, hoping for a miracle, and guess what? A mysterious door appeared behind him, giving you $1 million to stay in a phone-free room for a month. Would you do it? This guy found himself in a room full of blind boxes. He had to find the door to escape. He pressed a button and the door opened, but he couldn't catch the closing door, even with the speed of a cheetah. He looked around and saw a fly swatter. He gave it a whack and ran as fast as he could. He missed it again. This was starting to feel like a game of whack-a-mole. He tried every tool he could find, but nothing worked. He even tried pulling the button with a rope and locking it with a cart. That's when he realized the key to his escape was to hold down the button. He tried using a vase, but it was too light. Luckily, he had a quick mind and came up with a solution. Man placed a vase on the button. It worked, but wait. The door slammed shut again. He came up with a solution. As long as filling the vase with water to weigh it down, it was foolproof. However, he did not expect that, no matter where he went, the water would pour straight onto his head. He was dripping wet, and completely freaking out. In a fit of rage, he directly stuck sushi onto the button. To his surprise, the door opened. However, his happiness was short-lived. He taped the living daylights out of it with duct tape, and ran away. But desperate times called for desperate measures. He found a hunk of metal and taped it up too, but the tape kept peeling off. He was so fed up that he just sat down and resigned himself to his fate. But then, by some miracle, he accidentally hit a switch that released a rope. He grabbed onto it and swung like Tarzan, finally making his grand escape. This movie can be roughly divided into 3 parts: practice, implementation, and future. Each part represents a metaphor for a person's childhood, adulthood, and fantasies about the future world. In the practice section, the man in pajamas represents a person's childhood. He finds himself in a strange space, and the walls are covered with buttons that look like small penises. He only wants to escape from the room, and the things that come out when he presses the buttons represent the various troubles of childhood. Hate useless things, like sushi, comic books, and all kinds of toys, even adapt to this kind of life. The various absurd ways take to achieve my goals. Don't want these things, just want to get out quickly. The main storyline is to escape from the room, but does growing up really mean no more troubles? The director gives a metaphor at the end of the film, and curious viewers can go see for themselves.
Midweek, he slept on nails. Weekends, he slept on ice blocks. The master even used fire to test him. This affluent man is bound for prison, sentenced to a decade for fraud just a week ago, assigned to the world's most perilous prison. The judge granted him 6 months for readiness. Fortuitously, he crossed paths with a kung fu master, whose single punch could shatter walls. Guided by the master, he embarked on mastering the art of one-finger meditation. Bent fingers were not a problem. The master could reset bones. For breakfast, he consumed venomous snakes. Lunch comprised poisonous scorpions. Dinner featured raw beef liver. After 6 months, he had sculpted a robust physique. The day he completed his training is the day he entered prison. However, on the initial day behind bars, trouble swiftly sought him out. As he is about to enter the world's most ruthless prison, the robust figure discards his shirt, unveiling a sculpted physique. Advancing from the rear, just before his intended blow, Alex administers a resounding slap, reaching out once more, promptly subdued, fingers methodically broken. Following this, Alex assumes leadership within the prison, gathering all inmates, proclaiming a ban on violence, permitting only dance. Yet, not all adhere. While some plot a covert assault, Alex discerns their scheme, employing an improvised soap nunchaku, effectively incapacitating them. Henceforth, no more conflicts within the prison. Even an ice lolly stick, shared among all. Toilet tank beverages, sharing popsicles. Never has a prison seen such unity. Yet, the warden is discontented. He orders Alex to halt all order maintenance immediately, threatening to deny Alex parole. As a prosecutor is set to visit in a week, the warden plots to incite a riot among the inmates. His aim is to force the prosecutor to close down the prison, allowing the warden to develop real estate on the property. To meet his wife, Alex disregards the established rules, resulting in immediate chaos within the prison. During the parole inspection, Alex realizes if the prosecutor witnesses the unrest, they will be shot. Nostalgic about the moments of joy they shared, Alex abandons his pursuit of parole. Rushing to the podium, he exposes the warden's sinister plot. With the assistance of the master, the warden is finally brought to justice. Violent incidents no longer occur in the prison. Would you like to taste this cocktail? The chubby guy strapped the chainsaw to his back. Then, upon climbing up, he almost cut his companion's head. Mushroom Head snatched the chainsaw, swung it at the chubby guy. The chubby guy's head was unharmed, but the chainsaw got ground down. A nun came over to inspect, just as Mushroom Head swung a sledgehammer, nearly sending the nun to meet God. A coincidence dropped an iron bell, knocking the nun unconscious on the spot. The three hurried down to rescue the injured, but due to the cracked ladder, it fell directly onto the nun. To prevent further harm, they quickly moved the nun aside, but the chubby guy also fell down.
Come on, you!
Curly Hair tried to wake up the nun, but forgot there was a sledgehammer hidden inside. Now, the nun has truly gone to heaven. Let us all say, Amen. However, when they first arrived at the orphanage, they were still very adorable. The nun had just opened the package, got poked in the eye. Then, another nun appeared, finding 3 adorable babies staring at her. All the nuns were overwhelmed by their cuteness, decided on the spot to adopt them. However, the nuns soon regretted their decision. To treat the nun's swollen eye, they tied her to a table, used a hammer to knock her out instead of anesthesia. Suddenly, a knock on the door was heard. The 3 immediately flipped the table, changed into different clothes, pretending to study. Upon hearing dinner was served, they rushed out, completely forgetting the nun under the table. As adults, the 3 are still a handful. When they saw the nun being bullied, they rushed in, throwing punches and kicks at the men. Even plucked the man's armpit hair.
Pretty boy! Think you're pretty smooth, huh?
Now, even the priest has been sent to heaven by them. After the priest woke up, he announced the impending bankruptcy of the orphanage. The chubby guy bumped the man out with his stomach, then finally managing to escape from under the car. The 3 individuals were quite pleased with the outcome. An hour ago, in an effort to rescue the bankrupt orphanage, the trio took to the streets, with signs hanging from their chests. They offered themselves for hire, allowing anyone to command them for a fee. Soon, a couple approached. The man claimed to be seriously ill, pleading with the 3 to expedite the end of his life, requested they must carry out the task in the evening. Little did the trio know, it was all a ploy by the woman to free herself from her husband's clutches. A man was watering fish in the grass, hoping they would quickly grow into little fish. However, instead of attracting customers, he ended up attracting the police. The trio escaped to the rooftop, leaping directly from the building. accidentally knocked down their orphanage companion, Yellow. Yellow had initially wanted to invite the trio over for dinner. However, the trio declined, citing their busy schedule focused on earning money. In an attempt to salvage the situation, Yellow insisted on taking a commemorative photo for them. Upon returning home, Yellow shared the photo with his wife. To her shock, she recognized the trio as the hired hitmen she had employed during the day to carry out a sinister plan. On the other side, the trio stumbled upon a photo of the woman in yellow. Realizing the truth of the situation, they decided to inform the police. Upon learning the truth, Yellow decided to financially support them in saving the bankrupt orphanage.